Settlers of Catan very well might be the quintessential Euro tabletop game. At a first glance, it might not seem like there's a lot to this dice-heavy turn-based game, but there's actually a lot of little nuances that can make or break your game. In this video, I'll be showing you strategies for placing those first two settlements right at the beginning of the game. If you can get this down, you'll probably win most of your games, so everybody can hate you. Now keep in mind I'm showing you how to win Catan. This is not a how to play video. If you don't know how to play, go get a rulebook and come back and check this video out. So at its core, Catan is a game of momentum. As you expand, the pace at which you grow increases. So because of this, if you don't do well at the beginning of the game, you're likely going to fail. Usually the person with the best initial momentum is the one who wins. So it's super important that those first two settlements are strategically placed to best set you up for success. At the core, you need to start with good wood and good brick. Since it's used in roads and settlements, it's super critical to your early game. It's actually literally written in the rulebook as a tip. I don't care if you plan to build cities or armies or whatever to get points, at the end of the day you have to expand early if you're going to get the kind of momentum you need. So ultimately you need to see resources like stone and wheat more as late game resources. While they're nice to have early, wood and brick are more important in your early game. You also should try not to settle on the coast or the desert with your first two settlements. At the beginning you need the highest probability of getting resources to expand, and putting a settlement on just two resource tiles, like when you settle on the coast or a desert, limits that super important momentum. I personally have never seen somebody win a game when they start on the coast or on the desert. Don't get me wrong, settling on the coast for good trade is a very strong strategy, but it's best used in mid to late game when you have more settlements and more cards. Something that I didn't really notice until I'd been playing for a few years is that it's really important to pay close attention to where your opponents are settling at the beginning of the game. Your momentum needs to have a better chance at growing than theirs does. So a really powerful tactic is to intentionally settle on the same brick and same wood as your opponents. It's particularly important to diversify your placement such that you have a leg up on each individual opponent. So you might, for example, settle on a 9 wood with opponent A and maybe like a 5 brick with opponent B. So that way neither opponent can get resources to build a road without you also getting resources to build a road. However, once you get enough resources for a road, each opponent is still only halfway there to getting a road. So that way, you'll get better initial momentum than anybody else, regardless of what's rolled, because you've set yourself up in comparison to what your opponents are probable to get. So those are my basic strategies for where to place those first settlements at the beginning of the game in Catan. In the next video, I'll go into more detail for strategy around gameplay. In the meantime, what are your strategies for placing those first two settlements? And what are some of the worst placements you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments, and as always, if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.